Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Snow and I'm planning to thru hike the Arizona Trail this March, yay! So today we're going to do another review of a practice hike that I did. We went up to Leadville, which is about 2.5 hours away. And if you didn't know, Leadville is one of the highest towns in America. It's at 10,150 feet and it is absolutely beautiful. It's surrounded by a bunch of mountains. You have Mount Massive, Mount Elbert, I think, a handful of other 14,000 feet, 14ers. I keep trying to say like 4,000 footers, but it's 14ers. Very big difference. If you know, on the East Coast, in New Hampshire and the Whites, they have a bunch of 4,000 footers. And if you also didn't know, that's where we were living before we moved to Colorado. And that was a little over a year ago now, which is kind of crazy. All right. So here are going to be some shots of Leadville and also the hike that we did, and I'll talk a little bit more about all of that afterwards. Alright, so we started down here in Leadville, and then we took 24 all the way up to just about here. So we went to Tennessee Pass, and we ended up doing this section right here, which you can see is on the CDT and the Colorado Trail. We went to here, we went up this road, we continued Mitchell Creek Loop Trail over to here, and then back to the CDT. Oh, and over here. Yeah. A former silver mining town that lies among the headwaters of the Arkansas River in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, the Leadville Historic District contains many historic structures and sites in this dynamic mining area. In the late 19th century, Leadville was the second most populous city in Colorado, after Denver. Leadville is notable for having many 14,000-foot peaks nearby from town. The Leadville area was first settled in 1859 when placer gold was discovered in California Gulch during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush. By 1860, a town Oro City, Oro in Spanish means the word for gold, located about a mile from present-day Leadville, had sprung up, and a year later its population had reached more than 5,000. But the boom was brief because the placer miner gold soon ran out and the Oro City never became a major settlement. Later, silver was found in Leadville. Leadville was founded in 1877 by mine owners Horace Tabler and August Meyer at the start of the Colorado silver boom. The town was built on desolate flat land below the tree line. The first miners lived in rough-tented camps near the silver deposits in California Gulch. The city population was 2,602 at the 2010 census and an estimated 2,762 in 2018. Leadville is the highest incorporated city in North America. Colorado's two tallest 14ers, mountains higher than 14,000 feet, tower above the area, including Mount Elbert at 14,433 feet and Mount Massive at 14,421 feet. Today is obviously the next day. We got home after dark because it took us a few hours to drive there. But it was a really fun day. We got up and left maybe about like 7:15. Ended up getting gas and we drove there and we're just listening to a couple podcasts. I think we're actually listening to Backpacker Radio, which most of the people are from like Salida, I think Boulder, Colorado, so that's kind of fun. And they've done a variety of other hikes, and I think their program has been on, or excuse me, their podcast has been on for 8 years, I think they're saying, which is like crazy. That was like way before I started backpacking or doing anything. So it's always interesting to listen to. Both of us like it. It's mostly my boyfriend who will play something while I'm driving, and it was just really peaceful. We ended up stopping to get coffee because we're completely out of coffee grounds, and so we ended up getting like a breakfast burrito or something in Buena Vista, and then continuing up to Leadville. And then once we got there, we ended up parking and we walked around. We probably did about, I'll say like 2 miles, and we walked to up where they have like the hostel, of course, like Main Street, and you can see all the different things going there. And it was pretty quiet. It was just a Monday, and most things were closed, or most stores were closed. But it's still really nice to just check out somewhere else and just to see the mountains covered in snow. It's absolutely beautiful there. And then to top it off, we got some lunch, and then we ended up doing a hike, and that ended up being about 8 miles at around 10,000 feet. So although I wasn't carrying that much weight, it was just kind of nice to get a bit more length in the hikes that we've been doing. I think I've mentioned before that snowshoeing takes more time, so it's not as easy if you're just going to go hiking around. It's a bit more technical. So that took a bit of time, but it was beautiful, mostly flat and very mellow. And yeah, it was just nice to enjoy the views. I did have a little bit of knee problems on my left knee for some reason, my outside, which could be linked to maybe my IT band or just overcorrecting, because when you're in snowshoes, your feet are much wider. And because there was only a skier's path, we were trying to stay on it without, completely ruining the trail or post holding, because even in snowshoes, you will post hold too. So I think it's just like an overcorrection of my knees kind of coming in front like this. Because I went for maybe like a 1.5 mile walk this morning when I was just doing some chores, and it feels a lot better. So I just need to remind myself, take things slow, make sure that you're hydrating, make sure that you're stretching, just doing all the things that I can do. But it was nice to get a bit more distance, practice with that, and then also the elevation, which I think will be really helpful. So yeah, just another practice hike, and we're getting closer to it. This is now the month that I'm going to leave to do the Arizona Trail. And I've been keeping up with a handful of other YouTubers who are talking about their journeys, and I'm just getting really excited. So it's just going to be great to get out there and just relax and enjoy it. But, baby steps first. Gotta finish getting all my gear together and kind of a little bit more logistics as well too. And I can talk more about those if anybody wants kind of more information about like the permits or where I'm going to be sending resupply boxes and kind of what I'll be wearing and things like that. Okay, well, I hope this was at least a little interesting, maybe. I don't know. Beautiful photos of the snow, you can't get too mad. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and see you next time.